Welcome to our review of the latest developments in The Bold and the Beautiful, where passion, revenge, and unexpected twists continue to captivate audiences worldwide. Today, we'll explore a dramatic storyline involving a fashion show disaster that reshapes relationships and tests loyalties among our beloved characters. Forrester Creations is preparing for a major fashion show to unveil their latest collection, featuring Brooke's new lingerie line. The anticipation is building as this event represents not just a business milestone but also a personal triumph for Brooke Logan, who has been working tirelessly to maintain her position within the company. The collection, part of her Brooke's Bedroom line, has been designed to captivate and entice, much like Brooke herself has done throughout the years at Forrester Creations. Behind the scenes, however, darker forces are at work. Luna Nozawa and her grandmother Sheila Sharp have been plotting revenge against the Forresters, particularly targeting Brooke and those close to her. The grandmother-granddaughter duo has recently joined forces, combining Sheila's experience in villainy with Luna's youthful determination. They view the upcoming fashion show as the perfect opportunity to strike, recognizing that the chaos of such a large event would provide excellent cover for their sinister plans. Luna and Sheila's scheme is as dangerous as it is calculated. They plan to sneak into the venue before the show and strategically place materials that would start a small fire. In the midst of the fashion extravaganza with models, designers, and attendees focused on the runway, no one would notice their actions until it's too late. The timing is crucial. They want maximum impact with minimal chance of being caught. What makes their plan particularly devious is their understanding of the fashion industry itself. They know that fashion shows are filled with highly flammable materials, from the fabrics of the garments to the decorative elements of the set design. Sheila, with her history of causing chaos, recognizes that even a small flame could quickly escalate into something far more destructive. The irony of targeting Brooke's lingerie line isn't lost on them either. The delicate, sensual materials that Brooke has chosen for her collection are precisely the kind that would fuel a rapidly spreading fire. It's a calculated attack not just on Forrester Creations as a business, but on Brooke's personal brand and identity within the fashion world. The day of the show arrives with all the glamour and excitement that typically accompanies Forrester Creations events. The venue is packed with fashion industry elites, media representatives, and loyal clients. Ridge Forrester, despite his complicated relationship with Brooke, is present to support the company's latest venture. Taylor Hayes is also in attendance, watching carefully as Brooke takes center stage to introduce her collection. As the models begin to showcase Brooke's designs, the atmosphere is electric. The audience responds enthusiastically to the beautiful garments, and for a moment, it seems like another triumph for the Forrester family business. Behind the scenes, however, Luna and Sheila's plan is already in motion. A small flame begins in an area backstage, initially unnoticed amidst the hustle and bustle of the show. Within minutes, what started as a small fire begins to spread rapidly. The highly flammable materials of Brooke's lingerie collection, combined with the set decorations and stage curtains, create the perfect conditions for a fast-moving blaze. By the time someone notices the smoke, the fire has already grown substantially, triggering panic among the attendees. The elegant fashion show quickly descends into chaos as people rush toward the exits. The fire alarm blares through the venue, adding to the confusion and fear. Backstage, models and staff scramble to escape the growing inferno, while out front, security personnel attempt to manage the evacuation. In the midst of this chaos, Ridge Forrester notices that Brooke is nowhere to be seen. Despite the danger, he pushes against the fleeing crowd, desperately calling her name. Learning from a terrified assistant that Brooke was last seen in her office reviewing last-minute changes to the lineup, Ridge doesn't hesitate. He immediately heads toward the back offices even as flames begin to engulf that section of the building. The smoke is thick and disorienting as Ridge navigates through familiar corridors now transformed into a dangerous maze. The heat intensifies with each step, but his determination doesn't waver. When he finally reaches Brooke's office, he finds her unconscious on the floor, overcome by smoke inhalation. Without a moment's hesitation, Ridge lifts her into his arms and begins the treacherous journey back through the burning building. The return trip proves even more dangerous as sections of the ceiling begin to collapse around them. In a critical moment, Ridge makes a split-second decision that reveals the depth of his feelings. He shields Brooke with his own body as burning debris falls from above. Though he manages to get them both out of the building, Ridge sustains serious burns and injuries from his heroic rescue. The fashion show fire makes headlines across Los Angeles and the fashion world. What should have been Forrester Creations' triumphant moment has instead become a disaster that threatens both the company's reputation and the physical well-being of key family members. The investigation into the cause of the fire begins immediately, though Luna and Sheila have been careful to cover their tracks. Brooke, having suffered relatively minor injuries thanks to Ridge's protection, refuses to leave his side at the hospital. Her gratitude for his sacrifice quickly evolves into a deeper recognition of what it means. Ridge was willing to risk his life for hers without hesitation. As she maintains her vigil by his hospital bed, the walls she had built around her heart begin to crumble. Taylor, visiting Ridge in the hospital, witnesses the intensity of Brooke's devotion and the tender way she cares for him. More significantly, she observes Ridge's response to Brooke, even in his weakened state. His face lights up when Brooke enters the room, and he seems to draw strength from her presence. The truth becomes impossible to ignore. Despite all their history and complications, Ridge and Brooke share a connection that transcends rational explanation. For Taylor, this realization brings both clarity and pain. She has spent years competing with Brooke for Ridge's affections, believing that she could eventually secure her place as the true love of his life. The fashion show fire and its aftermath force her to confront a difficult truth. Ridge may care for her deeply, but his heart has always belonged to Brooke in a way that cannot be matched or replaced. In a moment of quiet dignity that showcases Taylor's strength of character, she makes the painful decision to step aside. During a private conversation with Ridge as he recovers, Taylor acknowledges what she has seen and felt. She expresses her love for him, but also her understanding that continuing to fight for a place in his heart would only bring more pain to all involved. This decision isn't made in anger or as an ultimatum, but rather as an act of love, both for Ridge and for herself. Taylor recognizes that she deserves someone who loves her completely, not someone whose heart is perpetually divided. By removing herself from the equation, she gives Ridge permission to follow his heart without guilt or obligation. Ridge's recovery is slow and challenging. The physical therapy sessions are painful and there are moments of frustration as he works to regain his strength and mobility. Throughout this difficult period, Brooke remains his constant support, rearranging her schedule to attend every appointment and learning from the medical staff how best to assist his recovery at home. Their time together during this vulnerable period allows for honest conversations that had been avoided for too long. Without the distractions of work or other relationships, Ridge and Brooke finally address the patterns that have kept them in an endless cycle of reunion and separation. They acknowledge their mistakes and the hurt they've caused each other, but also the undeniable pull that has kept bringing them back together over decades. As Ridge regains his strength, their relationship strengthens as well. The experience has stripped away pretenses and forced them to see what truly matters. When Ridge is finally released from the hospital, it seems natural that Brooke would continue caring for him at home, and this domestic arrangement soon evolves into a formal reconciliation. Their reunion isn't announced with grand gestures or public declarations, but rather with quiet certainty. After everything they've been through, both individually and together, they've found their way back to each other once again. The fashion world and their extended family take notice as Ridge and Brooke begin appearing together at events, their body language clearly indicating that they've reconciled. Perhaps the most ironic aspect of this entire saga is that Luna and Sheila's attempt to destroy Brooke has instead given her exactly what she wanted. Their plan to cause her pain and humiliation through the fashion show disaster has inadvertently created the circumstances that brought her and Ridge back together. The fire that was meant to burn Brooke's world to the ground has instead forged a stronger bond between her and Ridge, tempered by crisis and sacrifice. This unexpected outcome infuriates Sheila and Luna, who must watch from the shadows as their enemies find happiness instead of suffering. Their revenge plot has not only failed but backfired spectacularly, strengthening the very relationship they had hoped to destroy. This failure adds fuel to their resentment, suggesting that their schemes against the Forresters and Logans are far from over. The investigation into the fire continues, with authorities suspecting arson but lacking concrete evidence to identify the perpetrators. Sheila's experience with criminal activities has served her well in covering their tracks, though both she and Luna remain at risk of exposure if they make a single mistake. The threat of discovery hangs over them, adding tension to their already complicated dynamic. As Ridge's physical recovery progresses, Forrester Creations faces its own recovery process. The fire has caused significant financial damage, destroying not only the venue but also the entire new collection before it could be properly launched. Insurance will cover some of the losses, but the company still faces challenges in rebuilding its momentum and reassuring stakeholders. This crisis provides an opportunity for Ridge and Brooke to work together professionally as well as personally. Brooke suggests reimagining her lingerie line with a phoenix theme, beauty rising from ashes, which resonates powerfully given recent events. This creative direction captures media attention and public interest, turning a potential business disaster into an inspiring comeback story. The rebuilding process brings the entire Forrester family together, temporarily setting aside old conflicts in service of a common goal. Even Steffi, who has often been at odds with Brooke, recognizes the value of her contributions during this difficult time. This period of cooperation doesn't erase all family tensions, but it does create space for new understandings and grudging respect among former adversaries. The fashion show fire and its aftermath represent a pivotal chapter in the ongoing saga of the bold and the beautiful. What began as a vengeful plot by Sheila and Luna transformed into a catalyst for profound change in the lives of Ridge, Brooke, and Taylor. Through crisis came clarity, forcing characters to confront their true feelings and make difficult choices about their futures. Ridge and Brooke's reunion, forged in the flames of disaster, demonstrates once again the enduring nature of their connection. Despite countless separations and relationships with others, they continue to find their way back to each other, suggesting that some bonds truly are destined to endure. Taylor's decision to step aside, while painful, reflects her growth and self-respect, potentially opening the door to new possibilities in her own life. As for Sheila and Luna, their failed revenge plot serves as a reminder that even the most carefully laid plans can yield unexpected results. Their continued presence in Los Angeles ensures that the drama is far from over, with new schemes and conflicts surely on the horizon. The fashion show fire may be extinguished, but the passions and rivalries that define the bold and the beautiful continue to burn brightly. Thank you for joining us for this in-depth review of the latest dramatic developments in The Bold and the Beautiful. If you enjoyed this analysis, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content exploring your favorite soap operas and their most compelling storylines. Until next time, keep watching as the drama unfolds.